All right. Welcome. We'll go ahead and get rolling on this. I'll also throw it out there. Always throw it out there, but anyone that does want to come up and chat, feel free to just request. I don't mind really hitting anyone with the speaker role. Any questions, anything that you really want to chat about, feel free to just jump up here. But I'll do our official welcome for everyone, especially those of you on YouTube. So by chance, if you come across this on YouTube, if you don't mind liking and subscribing to the channel, it certainly does help kind of bring a little bit more of our brand awareness from famous foxes, into others that are interested in the space from the YouTube side. So certainly do appreciate everyone that has already joined, part of our YouTube army, if you will. And we push this content out weekly. Have to get better at actually pushing it out every week. Like I mentioned a little earlier, I'm a couple of weeks behind, so I'm going to try and get caught up on that. If not tomorrow, by Tuesday. We'll kind of jump right into it. So I'll just go through our announcements that we've been kind of doing over the past week, some of the updates we have going on. We give like a little bit of insight to some of the other initiatives that we are also working in outside of just our general announcements, and then we'll kind of touch on NFT NYC. It was an amazing week. Just kind of really also like a larger scale networking for a lot of people in the space, in all different chains, but primarily Solana with a lot of the extracurricular activities, if you will, for the event. So we'll kind of do a little bit of an overview on that. And like I mentioned before, welcome questions. Feel free to ping me. I'd recommend, at least while I'm going through like general announcement things, just include my name, like, or if you're in Discord, just at me in whatever question. That way I'll get a notification that pops up and I'll go and respond to it. Sometimes they can get buried if I'm just on a roll, and I want to make sure that if there are any questions that I do kind of address them as they pop up. So getting started here, talking about our general quality of life. I'm sorry, not even our general quality of life stuff. Our latest update for our missions, we pushed out our first raid mission. So this first raid mission was around Centurions. There was, I believe, 30 in total foxes that could be included. And we did 2 raids, so technically you could do about 60 in total. It did require level 8, and the other had a level 5 requirement. So I myself had joined into it. I actually bought the levels to be able to do the higher level one, just because I was more interested in essentially trying to get a little more fame from it. But the rewards for that one as well, we added in the rare chests. So we're in talks about adding in like a couple of more like levels to chests. That way, the rewards that we end up giving will be kind of like more like high tiered. So it'll just, some of them might have a little bit more different offerings. We're still trying to tweak and figure out like what makes sense from an actual reward standpoint, recognizing that if people get these kinds of chests on a weekly basis, like it still has to be sustainable from an economic side for our project. We can't just give out like 1,000 soul every week or what have you. We'll drain ourselves to dead zero pretty quickly doing that. But we do want to kind of ramp up the rewards, especially from a level gated side, from a mission side. Like we are playing into like gamified staking. That's what we've started developing. That's what we're going to kind of continue to develop as time goes on top of the collaboration side and other tools that we are working on as part of our roadmap 2.0. We did do a Solana monkey business as well, collaboration mission last week. So we bumped up the fame to 420 on that for the culture. And we did a vote which ended prior to last weekend, around the monthly July raffle side primarily, that we end up giving back, essentially to our holders. And what we've decided, or what was decided from the DAO, we kind of structured a vote for how to handle like a dust allocation for the Duppies whitelist that's coming up, or the Duppies mint itself, but for an allocation into their dust pool they've set up. And the vote that won was to allocate like the whole portion of dust that we have into that Duppies pool. So that's what we're going to be doing. And just to kind of throw it out there, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be all of what we're giving back for the month of June. We do still have funds to buy into the auction side at least. We might do something else from a raffle piece, but I feel like the Duppies whitelist side is just a larger allocation from a funding standpoint. So we're going to try and figure out how to kind of add a little bit more to it, so that way it's not like just the Duppies whitelist. But we did add in, I believe it's in another announcement further down, the tickets for the Duppies whitelist. Let me just double check here. I thought I saw it. Yeah. Yes, we haven't made it live yet. We've only put out the details for it. All right, I just wanted to make sure that we're on the same page there. And then we did have the Odd Skull Fox, so that currently is on the auction side. And let me go and double check. I don't know if it actually finished. I should have pulled it up by itself. One quick second here. Last I looked, it was 300K, but I'm pretty sure it's higher than that now. It is one of my favorite animated ones. Yes, there's still 15 hours, just shy of 16 hours left on it. Highest bid is 369,700 Foxy. So that's where the current bid is. It's a 1-for-1 and one of the animated FFFs, and this is a part of the Famous Fox Friends and Foes collection. So for those of you that are interested in winning that, there is a link. It's done via Metaplex, so you can jump in. The announcement for the link itself was done on the 23rd. So for anyone that is interested in bidding on that, feel free to jump in there. And again, that was created by Oddskull, which has the orange circle emoji for the O. So if you're trying to hunt them down, probably one of the easier ways to do it is to copy that from our announcement. Or if you want to, you could just start typing out, like, I think skull, and it should come up in there. Like, that was the one thing that's convenient when you're trying to search for people's names in Discord. And the other piece too, so we're working with NFT Inspect to run a raffle for all foxes. So we did kind of put an announcement out last week to set your PFP to an FFF or TFF. And so we'll do a drawing for that tomorrow. And the prizes for that, we've got a den, and then we're also allocating 25K Foxy to a couple of others. So we'll be giving out some prizes. So if you have not yet swapped your PFP over, you still have till tomorrow when we do the drawing for it. I'm not sure the exact time, so I would just keep an eye out for when we do post an announcement around when we do that drawing. I'll save NFT NYC for the end. One of the other bigger things that we actually pushed out, and I'll say it's like a little bit more on the silent side for right now, that I know we'll kind of do like a little bit more, maybe of like a marketing campaign around it, is that we did partner up with Pawnhub to add foxes onto their site. Now, so there have been, for and everyone that's on this space and everyone that will listen to the YouTube, there have been a lot of projects and a lot of protocols and what have you that have reached out to us to see if we wanted to add foxes to their platform. And one of the biggest things for us is just more so around like the predatory lending side, and almost more so from like a centralized fashion that didn't really sit well with us, to be quite honest with you. And so with Pornhub, you actually, as the person that owns the NFT, you get to make your own terms for it. And so that to us seemed like a bit more appealing, because then if anyone does want their own like liquidity from the space, they could just put whatever the requirements are for their own particular NFT, and they're not structured in a fashion where like the entity themselves that you're lending into is the one making those terms. And so on Pornhub, you can structure however you want for your loan, and if it's enticing enough, someone can provide liquidity for you. Um, we like that model the best. I think it makes the most sense. And if your numbers are too ridiculous, then no one's gonna give you the liquidity. So I think that's where, for us, it makes the most sense. It gives the most control to the person that is trying to get liquidity, and they're not forced into a position to just take whatever the option is that the platform itself has. So just wanted to throw that out there for anyone that's interested. This went out on the 21st, so you can get to the link for the Pornhub app there. And they did also kind of do like a little bit of a marketing promotion type thing that had a fox in it, which is pretty sweet. But yeah, so for anyone that is interested in getting some liquidity for a fox or multiple foxes, feel free to check out Pornhub. And they're really funny too, because obviously their name is quite close to Pornhub, and there was a video that they put on there of like, how do you pronounce like your name, and so it linked to a video on YouTube of a woman explaining the difference between, like, I think it was prawn, pawn, and porn. It was hilarious. So also shout out to them for their sense of humor, because that got me. um and let's see. Next set of updates, profile linkage. So we did add for raffles where you can link. I'm sorry. You can link multiple wallets. You can link one wallet to another wallet, which has your Foxes staked, and be eligible for holder benefits. So if you go to your profile page and follow the steps that's shown in the video that was attached to the 22nd announcement, it'll allow just linking one wallet to avoid potential abuse. So if you have your ledger as an example, and that's where you have your foxes, or at least your famous foxes, however you end up doing it, because I highly would recommend doing that. You could then also link that to a minting wallet or your degen trading wallet, or however you want to go about it. So that way you can still utilize those benefits from one wallet to another. Just to kind of add in a way that people can kind of take advantage of being a holder, and just the different perks that it has for the zero fees and all that kind of fun stuff, and getting listed as at the top of our raffles as featured. We then also added in a wormhole device. So we have a new item that can be obtained only from Rare Chests so far. It'll also most likely be in Rare Chest Plus, whatever we decide to call those, something like Epic and Legendary or something along those lines. But essentially, that will be able to be used to transform your Fox's art into a one-for-one. And those will be created by master grades. So it'll be kind of similar. The example that we used is Munz or Amundra, his custom piece that he had. And this will only transform the art. The fox won't be given a one-for-one status, so it won't be like having a mission wild card or anything like that. This is purely just like the art side that will be upgraded. So they'll be quite rare to get for obvious reasons, but I think they'll be pretty amazing results for the folks that do get them and want to utilize them on their foxes. Then for our missions, which will be coming out tomorrow, the list for missions, we've got a beard or stash that's level 10 or above. We've got a sweater, scarf, or turtleneck that's level 10 or above. Then we have a combination for a pineapple t-shirt that's level 8 or above, and a beach den. Then we have another combination for a mutated level 8 plus, as well as an alien den. Then we have a crown and halo that are both level 10 or above. And last, we have two fangs that are level 8 or above, and a vampire den. So more level gated missions. So be sure to utilize those foxes as you can in them, and those will be going live tomorrow. As far as the Duppy's whitelist raffle goes, so I know I mentioned that we're allocating our dust funds towards that. The way that we're structuring the ability to kind of give them back to holders is that we're going to have our own raffle. So it's going to cost 3,000 Foxy, so that would kind of be like a month's allocation of Foxy for anyone that has an FFF, or if you have 4 TFFs. And we're going to have 3,333 tickets for the DGods number, if you will. And, it's irrespective of the number of spots that we'll give. So this will just be, a holder only raffle. So it'll be for just both FFF and TFF holders. So you have to have them staked, at least one of them staked, in order to be able to purchase the tickets. There won't be any restrictions to the number of tickets. So you can buy, however many that you want to buy. And the raffle itself will come out, it says later this month, but, within the next like week or so, we'll get that raffle going. So that is, I'll say, like the bulk of the spend for the monthly giveaway for June, but we will also have an auction and like a few other things that we'll throw out there on top of. We have kind of ramped up a little bit too in some of the rewards from missions. So for those of you that are doing missions, you might have noticed a little bit of an increase in some prizes. But I did go through yesterday morning, and I've added in, I think I added in like an extra 50 soul or so worth of NFTs to the orange box section. So for those of you that have any orange box, sorry, I might have got rugged there, but yeah, feel free to jump into the orange box and check them out. We did a couple of things too from like a general announcement side, because I believe that kind of wraps up most of the other pieces outside of NFT NYC. But I did want to throw it out there because I thought it was hilarious. But there was somebody that was trying to portray me as Foxy General via DMs, so I was messing with them back and forth, like DMing them, because they like reached out to me and they were trying to get me to link to some stupid website to do some kind of claim for foxes or something like that. The website had nothing to do with famous foxes, so hopefully that people don't fall for that. But what we have done is we kind of added in a few like security measures for people. So the first thing that we did is under the let me just double check here, under the facts section, I put in there the list of, I'll say like the main list of folks from our Discord. So myself, Dev, all the other devs that we have listed here, and then our moderators that are also on the more active side. I put a list of the IDs for everyone. So if you ever get a DM that seems kind of sus, or if you're not 100% sure, like the one thing to keep in mind for a lot of these like scam type things is that people add like a time pressure to it. So they like want you to do a thing quickly. Um, if you ever feel a time pressure for us for literally anything, like just just like delete the conversation and walk away and report them. There's literally nothing that we do that will be time pressured, with the exception of like a whitelist thing that someone has to respond back to before it closes. But that would just kind of get handled based off of what's needed from you. It's not usually a link that you have to go and connect to and connect your wallet to it and some Fox benefit or whatever. So don't fall for that. Under the facts section, it does kind of, I did include, and I will give a shout out to the DGods that actually had posted these kinds of instructions that I kind of like copy pasta but modified for us. But it tells you how to be able to go in and grab IDs from people and verify it against this list. If it doesn't match up, it's not the same person. So just for anyone out there that we just want to make sure we can avoid any kind of potential scams, because it's just ridiculous out there how frequent they are. I even helped a couple of people, well, one in particular, try to middleman a trade because they were claiming that Foxy Swap was having some kind of an issue, and they were trying to do a Trip and Ape Tribe, I think it was, swap for something else. And so I offered to middleman it. It seemed like they were having quite a few issues, and I don't think Dev was around at the time. And here the guy sent me a fake NFT, and I just verified it against like Magic Eden before I would like send them both out, and of course he just left the chat and blocked us and all that kind of fun stuff. But just don't fall for that kind of stuff. OxySwap, there's usually nothing wrong with it itself. There have been some kind of quirks that we've had to like, make sure we fix based off of us transitioning from like a free week to a non-free week or something along those lines. But for the most part, the tool itself works. It's just someone on the other end that's trying to scam you. And again, don't put time pressures on OTC trades, because if you do, then it's more than likely that you're going to get scammed, and we want to avoid that at all costs. Yeah, news. Okay, so welcome you news. Sorry, I got distracted there for a second, but yeah, welcome you news, and welcome to any other new foxes that are around here, especially if you're grabbing this from YouTube. But those were kind of the main announcements, and just as like a general item to throw out there, like again, a huge shout out to the community. I put the whole list in our announcements, but it was super nice for people to kind of put together like a little uh, gift bag, if you will, for me and essentially my wife too, because she had get some kind of benefit from it. But it was just just super nice. We got a couple of master grade shirts. They had gotten a custom pair of AirPod Maxes, which I honestly didn't even know they were considered AirPods. But those are amazing, and a gift certificate for a spa that's relatively close, based off of like some people in our Discord that are familiar with the region in which we're from. But yeah, it was super nice of you guys. So huge shout out. You guys are amazing. Foxes are amazing, and it's what we bust our balls for doing for everyone. So just wanted to acknowledge that 100%. Like, appreciate it. And then let's jump into NFT NYC. So for those of you that weren't able to attend, hopefully you guys enjoyed some of the content and such we posted. I realized, more so when we were kind of done, that I'm not I'm not the best like Twitter social media influencer kind of person. I actually I'd created a Snapchat for it, but then I figured I'd just like take content like pictures and videos and kind of post them out there when we had chances. But there were just so many people that wanted to meet and chat, which is fantastic, and that's exactly what we went for. But I realized that there probably was some other fun content that we could have shot and threw up there for you guys. So whenever our next event is that we decide to go to, maybe Breakpoint, we're talking about that. We'll definitely put some better content out for everyone. But just to kind of give a rundown of the events for anyone that might be interested in going next year, or to another like event similar to this. It was hosted at the Marriott Marquis in Manhattan in Times Square. They had, I think, 15,000 plus people registered for it. So day one, like the registration piece, like they definitely had their work cut out for them. I would say for anyone that is interested in doing this in the future, show up like 30 minutes early. We got there at like 10:30. We were about 200 deep in the line. As soon as they opened up at 11, we were probably in, got our badges and all that fun stuff, got our like merch from the vendors that were there, and we're out in like a half hour maybe. um because we like not nobody was clogging up lines and all that kind of fun stuff. So highly recommend 30 minutes early. You'll breeze through it. There was no main events at the convention center or at the hotel. On Monday, it was more so just registration. So then we had our first party that was hosted by Honeyland. They kind of added us and Grim to it as kind of like co-hosts or co-sponsors. It was a penthouse party that was like 4 blocks away from our hotel, which was awesome. They had a DJ set up in there. They kind of had like a little bar set up. They had a presentation playing that showcased Honeyland, Foxes, and Grims. There's also kind of a step curtain that you could go take pictures with. And then there was like a little bit of like an outdoor balcony type area, which most people congregated on because it was very nice outside, and just to kind of be outside, in the city, on like a rooftop, with a drink and just kind of bullshitting, meeting people was like really what it was all about. The music was definitely loud and all that kind of fun stuff. So it just made the most sense to kind of have people outside. So that went great. That we hung there the whole night. It closed at like 2 o'clock in the morning. As it was coming closer to like the end time, there were people from Solana Monkey Business, Big Brain, a few others had showed up because they had cleared out from the previous monkey party. But overall, it was awesome. Got to meet a ton of foxes. Got to meet a lot of people from Honeyland, from Grimm's. Chris from Portal stopped by. Um, there were just a lot of people to kind of connect with and at least like see for the first time, because I think that's one of the biggest challenges that I realized at these things is no matter like what you're wearing, like in future events, I'm gonna get like real custom shirt made that has like my PFP and my name and like maybe QR codes for like Twitter and all that kind of stuff, because that seemed to be one of the most challenging things was like finding the person you're looking for. Um, it was funny because like some people you could kind of guess who they were. Um, so like I would just walk up to people and I'd be like, "Oh, are you this person?" And they'd be like, "Yeah." And then like I thought that was kind of funny. But in the city with so many people, you definitely could use some easy way to make sure you kind of stand out from the crowd. And I was trying to post too in our NFT NYC thread what I was wearing, like kind of where we were at or like what we were going to a little bit. I could do a better job with that next time, but still got to meet a ton of people. And then Tuesday, we actually checked out the conference. So the conference is massive. They had I think 4 or 5 floors of vendors and people and theater space. It was just overwhelming, but also awesome to see all the different things that people are working on. From the game side, from the merch side, from the collectible like physical collectibles. Um, different protocols, and then you have like legal representation and merch representation, and just like all these different vendors that are there and other projects. I ran into Days Ducks; they had a booth there, so I chatted with them for a bit. Um, it was really good exposure to a lot of people in the space in a very short period of time. And they do serve food. The food wasn't bad at all. So like that comes for free with your ticket, and they've got things kind of all set up for it. The one thing I would throw out there too, from a tickets perspective, what and it really depends on like your own personality and what you kind of want to get from it. But from the sounds of it, it didn't seem like the VIP ticket was worth it. I think the only main difference that they do for VIP is that there's like a dinner day one that VIPs have access to. But the ticket I think was almost double in price when I had bought ours, at least based off of what I had talked to people about. So just wanted to kind of put that there for like a little side piece. Um, but then after that, after the conference, met up with a few people um, from there was like a yacht party that we had gotten invited to from Community 3 and Boogles. So we popped over there for a little bit and just got to kind of meet and network with a bunch of people from the Boogle side. So like Primitive Money, who some people might be familiar with, but his brother actually lives close to us. So we have kind of a little bit of a deeper relationship with them at this point. Um, and that one kind of cut it close for us because that one did like a Statue of Liberty like visit. So we got back at 6, and our Geckos Matrica party also started at 6. So it took us about 25 minutes, 30 minutes to get over there from where we were, in order to kind of mingle with more foxes and Matrica and geckos. But they did an awesome job there. That was at Bond 45, which is literally right next to the hotel that we had that the convention was at. And it was a nice little spread. We had about 50 people, maybe a little bit more than 50 people that were there. it was, they had like little appetizer type things, an open bar, and we were able to kind of commingle with folks too. We actually drug a Code Monkey and Big Brain from the yacht party over with us to Bond 45. So that was pretty awesome, and we got some pictures from it. Actually, I should shout that out too. If anybody does have um, pictures like of the groups that were done, because I don't think I've gotten any yet from the Geckos Matrica party, and then also from the SMBs too. There's an SMB party on Thursday, or on Wednesday, which I'll touch on. But feel free to DM me them or some way, just get in contact with me about them. I really would appreciate it, just because I haven't gotten those. But I've posted most of the pictures that I took myself. I know my wife still has some too that we'll probably throw around in NFT NYC for anyone else that's interested in checking out, some of our adventures in there. And I'd also advocate for anyone else that wants to post their pictures in NFT NYC. Feel free to go for it. You don't have to by any means. I know some people post them on Twitter and all that kind of fun stuff, but yeah, feel free to throw them in there. And what else? Tuesday night, basically, we got dinner after that. And then there was the Wobble Bugs Astrals party, which I know we got quite a few tickets for folks to get in there. That was that was jam packed. They had a great list of people there. So it was hopefully folks that were able to go were able to get in. I know the line was kind of crazy for that one. And it started too, I think at 10 o'clock. So that was a late one for us. But we bailed about halfway through. So it went 10 to 2. We cut out around midnight. But was able to meet Function there, met RHH there, saw a few other people that were from other events and such. But like the layout for it, music was great. The only thing was like there was kind of like one main bar and a ton of people around it. So like that was, I'd say, one of the bigger challenges for that particular event. But that seemed to be kind of a fair challenge for I think every event but Magic Eden's yacht party once it took off because a lot of people had gotten off the boat before it set sail for 2 hours. And then and that brings us to Wednesday. Checked out the conference again, met up with our merch vendor. Hoping to have that ready to go by next week or sometime in early July. So I know it's been a long time coming. It honestly is a struggle to like get all the pieces moving for it, but we're really close on it. I'm just waiting for samples, and then we get to pull the trigger for getting that launch. So I know there's been a lot of people that have been waiting to get those rewards from our missions. So I'd say hold tight just a little bit longer and appreciate the patience as well. And then for everyone else, we'll get that launched. And I think we still have to make sure that Solana Pay can be integrated, and if not, we have another way we can make that work. So just kind of throw that out there too for anyone that is interested in buying merch. After a vendor, I think we just had some logistic things to deal with because we were getting out of our hotel room. I met up with Frank B and his wife, girlfriend. He's gonna slaughter me for that one. For dinner, and so we just kind of hung out. And right before we went to the yacht party, and I kind of leveraged them to help me get all of our Fox stuff in there. So we were a little bit late for the yacht party, and that primarily was just due to traffic. And just getting our car out and all that kind of fun stuff. So, but we got set up at a pretty decent time. The line there was nuts, absolutely nuts for getting onto the boat. I believe I don't know if they turned anyone away or if they just made people wait. But basically, I think once they got up to the 11:30 point when they were going to take off, a lot of people got off the boat. I would actually say probably close to 50% of the people, if not more, had gotten off the boat, and I think they were just letting other people, like whoever wanted to come on at that point, just to kind of be a part of it if they were interested, at least for those 2 hours. And got to meet a lot of people on the yacht, a lot of people. That was I would say probably the best like networking event for us. I mean, for obvious reasons, it just had a huge capacity, but it had so many different communities that were also a part of it. So you had, along with us, you had Stoned Ape Crew, you had DGen Apes were on our same floor. Upstairs, you had D Gods, you had Community 3, you had Boogles, you had SMBs. And I'm trying to think, you had Trippin' Apes on the top floor. They kind of had like the whole top floor because they were like the main sponsor. And of course, Magic Eden and Phantom too were also kind of sponsoring, the yacht party itself. So, got to meet Frank from D Gods. Got to meet a lot of different monkeys. A lot of people from our community. Some folks from Magic Eden team. Chartfu Monkey. I got to meet him a couple of times. Yeah, there were just so many people, and I know I'm forgetting. And it would probably take me forever to list everyone's name, but just some of the more higher profile people, if you will, that I was able to kind of meet up with and chat with for some time. Just to give ideas too, if anyone here is ever interested in going to an event like this in the future. Highly, highly, highly would recommend it. I would also throw out there that I don't know how much of a benefit like the actual conference tickets are. So if anyone ever is interested in like NFT NYC in the future, I would probably not get the conference ticket. I would just book a hotel room, figure out what all the events are that are going on those days/nights, and then I would just do that from a networking standpoint. That was probably the most beneficial in my personal opinion. There was also, I forgot, on Wednesday, before dinner, there was the Solana Monkey Business and Serum event that had, I think, 16 other total vendors that helped co-sponsor that. So got to meet a ton of people there as well. But yeah, I mean, it really was great meeting a lot of people. There was a lot of different merch and stuff that you could get from these events. Of course, you had to have tickets for all of them, and people like they would check names and all that kind of fun stuff. So I'll apologize to anyone that wasn't able to get into events, for one reason or another. Hopefully, everyone was able to get straight with us from the tickets and such that we pushed out there. But yeah, I thought it was a great week, and I definitely would recommend it for anyone in the future that's thinking about going to this. I have not been to a hacker house yet. I'm interested in going to one. If there's something that's also a little bit more local, and like I mentioned a little bit earlier, I think Breakpoint would be up there also on our list for possibly going to that conference. I think there could be a good bit of information and all that kind of fun stuff for meeting people. And we also did meet our team really from Boombox. So we met Shoddy, Nude Up Money, and your boy Jim. So huge shout out to those guys as well. We hung out with them for a little bit, got to see them at a few of the different events that we were at, including the yacht party. Great set of guys, and definitely looking forward to getting Boombox out there and started, and then making it better as time kind of goes on. So just wanted to give a quick shout out to those guys. And yeah, like I mentioned, it's for anyone of those have pictures or wants to kind of check out some information for it, under our Fox meetup section, there is a thread in there for NFT NYC. So be sure to jump in there. If you have pictures, feel free to post them. I'm perfectly fine with whatever, just make sure it's not like too doxy for others unless they are okay with it. And yeah, kind of, huge shout out to all the foxes that showed up and represented. Hopefully you guys had a good time and enjoyed, the swag that we had gotten made. I do have extra, so we're going to try and figure out to maybe a way of throwing some of our swag bags, and we had gotten beer koozies made, and I actually had got stickers made too, but they showed up like a day late, so I wasn't able to bring them with me. So I've got plenty of stickers to kind of send out to foxes. So we'll try and figure out a way of setting up some kind of giveaways or raffles or something to kind of give out like a little bit of I'll say pre-merch or fox swag or what have you. Maybe I'll order a few pieces and kind of add them with it, kind of make it like a little bit of a package deal for folks. I think that'd be kind of sweet. But yeah, I'll kind of open it up for any questions if anyone has any. I see a couple of pings, so let me jump in here and see what pings are for. Is anybody here? Thanks, Puggle. Appreciate that. So funny. Let's see here. Anything else? PFPs. I'll throw out there because I don't think anyone's commented on it yet. But for raffles, we have done a few, and I'll bring up here, Scooby. We have done a few updates for raffles that I'll say some have been more public, others have been kind of a little bit more private. And what I'll throw out there just to give you guys like a little bit of alpha because one of the meetings that we did have too at NFTNYC was with Hello Moon, but we changed up the structure for the last 10 minutes or whatever before of only being able to buy 20% of the current tickets that were sold. We've actually just capped it off at 20% for any single wallet. So I know that it does become a, a little bit less of a concern for some people. But it does like make life easier for like tracking if people are going to potentially like scam a specific raffle. And we're working on implementing a more like automated system that will kind of flag accounts as soon as like they do buy into their own wallets, and flag anyone that's like associated with them. Our main objective is to just try and reduce the potential for exploiting our raffles, just kind of taking advantage of the community members. So I did want to throw that out there. We once we have like a better, more automated solution in place, like we'll certainly let folks know about it. We're not going to give like the details and intricacies of how like we're going to kind of match data to determine ways of flagging accounts. But there was someone earlier today, for those of you that were around, that had asked why their account got flagged for raffles because they had, I think, quite a few open. I think they had like 9 open. One tactic that you'll see for people is that they'll have like 9 or 10 raffles that close like around the same time frame, and they'll have a Twitter account that has like a very small following, and maybe the account that had created the raffles is like a burner that was created a few days ago. But like those kinds of trends, like if you see them on raffles, honestly, I wouldn't buy into them. That's just from me personally. I know that it might impact some people that are out there, but realistically, people that want to do fair raffles, they'll have like a legit Twitter account that's older than a month or what have you, for the most part. Because it doesn't really matter what you link your Twitter profile to, from a wallet standpoint. Um, they'll probably have a legitimate following. It's not just going to be all retweets, and they'll have like a fair price for the total tickets sold compared to the floor price. Like they don't have 5, 10, 15, 20x whatever the floor price is for that particular NFT for all tickets sold. And they most likely are only running like one raffle or 2 raffles at a time. They won't have a whole bunch that end at once, so that way they can try and take advantage of people. So just want to throw out some of those tips. I know we published something like that as well, or not necessarily from the team, but from the community side for raffles. So just err on the side of caution. The person that came at me today asked why they got flagged, and it was because they are a serial, person to kind of take advantage of the community. So now we have data behind them to be able to track them and flag them before a raffle actually ends. So just wanted to throw that out too. But Scooby brought you up here. I'm gonna poke around too to see if anyone else has questions. But
Yeah, what's up, everybody?
how's it going?
So I had a question about the raid mission chests. What can we be expecting besides the wormhole devices?
Yeah, excellent question. So the way that we have it, the way we currently have it structured is based on the other rewards that we have. So you'll still have NFTs, famous foxes, transdimensional foxes, dens, rooms for dens. Foxy will be part of it, albeit like less common, and orange box tickets. I I don't think we put another thing in there that we were talking about doing, so I won't mention that. But like you said, the wormhole device is going to be another one, and I believe our gems will be in there as well. We'll just have like a little bit of a tweaked drop table, so it's not going to be, the same frequency that it is for the common chest, but it does have to have some relatively like stable sense for it being sustainable. But it will have a few things that will be a little bit more common in there than they are in the regular chests.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah, we've been talking about, so like just to give alpha around what I think our like bigger plan is with some of the higher tiered chests. So we have the orange box. Orange box right now is really it's a free ticket to get an NFT from basically a platform that we had created, which we call the Orange Box. You can go to it, famousfoxes.com/orange box /orange box. But the NFTs that are in there are around 5 to 7 ish SOL each. They might go down in price, it's purely based off of when we had purchased them. So I'm not 100% sure all the NFTs that are still in there are still in that range. But of course, if some break out, they're going to be more expensive. Like I think someone had got a Ghost Kid DAO in there for 12 when Ghost Kids were 12. And I believe they sold it at 12, although I think it pumped to like 20 or so after that. But we're thinking about creating higher tier boxes. So we've got orange boxes, kind of more of the common. Then do something else where maybe the NFTs are in like the 10 SOL range. And then another one that's higher where NFTs are in the 20 SOL range, or it might include foxes or something like that. But those would be specifically in different chests. Like you wouldn't be able to get, like a gold box or a platinum box or whatever we consider like the highest tier from a common chest. You'd only be able to get that from whatever like the most rare chest is, or at that specific level. So we're really trying to structure it a little bit, when you think about like more so like an RPG kind of game, where you're going through and you have different quests, and as you level up, like you have to get like gear that's fit for your specific level. We want that to kind of be emphasize as well with some of the more rare loot that we have, recognizing that not every fox is going to be up to the same point of being able to do those missions, just because of the cost even alone in Foxy, and the amount you get from the actual missions. Like it's not meant for everyone in the community to be able to buy their way to the top level, like just for everyone to know that. I think if you do the math on it based off of the current emissions from foxes, and it's excluding any of the burns we've already done, I believe to max out a fox by buying would take like just shy of a year, which I know sounds ridiculous, but that's based off of buying and not based off of missions and all that kind of fun stuff, because we can tweak the fame rate that we give out to foxes all the way up to whatever level we want to gate missions for. So um, just to kind of throw that out there, that's for max level foxes. So it'll be on a whole different level once we figure out the entire structure. I mean, we're kind of building it as we're going along. That's why right now we kind of capped out the buy for fox levels up to level 40. Um, I'll also kind of throw out there, because I don't believe it's that specific alpha, but level 40 is like the first tier for upgrades that we're planning on setting it at. So for anyone that does have their Fox up to 40, once we do launch out our first set of tier upgrades, you'll be amongst the first to be able to acquire those. So I'll just kind of throw that out there for anyone that has been up on missions and staking their foxes in them and getting some solid rewards from it. Do you have anything else, Scooby?
No, that's about it. It all sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I mean that's the one thing that I'm excited about too. I think with the way that we have our gamified staking created, VR missions, like it does kind of elevate us to a different level, because Dev's amazing and crafts up these customized contracts for these each individual mission. So we have like full freedom around how we want to kind of build out like that structure on chain. The the only thing worth kind of throwing out there is that like the randomization can kind of be gained on chain, or it's not perfect, or you have to like, or there's a certain cost to making it like better per transaction. So when it comes down to the actual rewards and people are opening up their chests, we actually do that through our website so that we have better control over like the randomness, as you should for anything that's considered like part of a drop table, that does have like loot and kind of like a financial backing kind of behind it. But yeah, that's what I wanted to throw out there for missions. Trying to think. I think that those are the main things off the top of my head. I'm poking through chats. I don't see any other pings. I know people were talking about the idea of like flagging raffles and all that kind of fun stuff. Yeah, flagged raffles. I mean, they get pushed down the stack, so you won't necessarily see them at the top when they are ending. Um, and it's just really a way for us to kind of prevent and kind of make our community like as safe as possible with raffles. I mean, realistically, any raffle, I would treat it as if all the tickets get sold out. So however many tickets you buy, just assume all the tickets are going to get sold at the end. And as long as you are okay with those odds, then definitely participate in it. If it's not, um, if it doesn't seem like you want to put enough money in there to have a fair chance at being able to win it, then I would probably avoid that particular raffle myself. So just want to kind of throw that out there just for people that have been partaking in raffles or have seen kind of raffles on their whole evolution phase, if you will. Um, bless you. But yeah, let's see here. Audacity. Yeah, so definitely, yeah, definitely avoid links via DMs. Like I mentioned earlier, I know some people were talking about the scams, so that's the only reason why I just want to like re-highlight it, and then I'll probably cut everyone loose and let you guys get back to the rest of your Saturday evening or Sunday morning. Um, but yeah, just be careful with DMs. Be careful with links that people are sending. I do know that people try to send like fake Foxy swap links, or fake y'all links. I think have been fairly popular as well. Um, you know, everyone hopefully knows how to get to our website. We have official links set up on our Discord, our Twitter account. There's links in there as well via our link tree. You can pop to the tool for Foxy Swap, connect in via the wallet that you've sent them for doing an OTC trade on, and then the swap pending will show up for you. So, that's what I would suggest 100% of the time that you do a Foxy Swap. Go through our official links unless you have one already bookmarked, and initiate the trade that way or accept the trade that way. Don't click links that people send you. As far as Fox holder benefits and airdrops and all that kind of stuff, that we'll give like official announcements around those things. It won't be done via DMs. So, um, if you get into a situation, you're dealing with a scammer, by all means have fun with them, but certainly do not give them important information, and definitely don't connect a wallet to anything that they send you. So just want to kind of throw that out there to make sure that everyone stays safe. But yeah, having said that, I appreciate everyone coming out. Appreciate the Foxes showing up. We have quite a crew here. This is being recorded, so feel free to check this out on here later if you'd like. Again, I'll also work on getting this up to YouTube if no later by Tuesday. I know that's probably probably a bigger ask for myself right now, but I do want to make sure I get the last couple of weeks or few weeks uploaded to YouTube as well, in case anybody wants to go back and check out some of our previous week's content. So always feel free to reach out to me via Discord. I know Dev gets annoyed by pings. I'm not that terribly annoyed by pings. I just want to make sure too that I do get back to everyone in a timely fashion. So if I am missing anything from anyone via DMs, just ping me again. NFTMYC is exhausting to say the least. So I'm sure there are a couple of DMs that I'm missing that just need someone to kind of remind me about. But outside of that, stay safe. Everyone have a great weekend. Keep an eye out for our missions and such that we are pushing out tomorrow. And I will talk to you guys through the Discord or next week via our next weekly VC. So have a great weekend.